One other thing that we haven't figured out on this yet is sprockets for this John Blue pump. Alright guys, well, I was on my way to work today and I thought I would stop and show you something here. So this is just one of our fields. This is some of the wheat we just planted, and you can see it's looking kind of green. We got wheat growing. This is just one of many fields. We planted a little over 1,600 acres of wheat this year. So, but yeah, you can see the wheat coming up. Looks good. Should be a good crop. All the way to the farm now. We have a few things to do today. We have a flatbed to put on, and we also have to do a little bit of work on one of our potato planters. So let's get to it. So what I'm working on today is this truck. So we got this new flatbed, and you saw us put it on in a previous video, but the thing is, none of the mounting brackets that were on it, so that's the bracket that was on it, these have our brackets that are on our truck, they don't line up, none of them. And also we kind of want to make it so we can put this bed on any one of our trucks, because we just swap beds all the time. So we're trying to figure out the best way to mount this thing, and I think we figured out a way, because one of our other trucks, the BTR bed, it has these big brackets that are over here on the floor that mount it. So it has a plate on the bed, and then it just has these ready rod with a plate on the bottom, and they just go up and bolt on and it holds it on. So we're thinking that that might be the best way to do this, because then we can switch it to a different bed if we want to, or a different truck. We can move it around. We couldn't figure out how the best way to mount it. We had a bunch of different ideas, but we settled on the ready rod idea. So I've just cut these all out, and they should be long enough. They'll be long enough to go on each side of the frame there. And I cut one of these. So this is the plate, 1/2-inch plate. I'll have to cut some holes in it. And this is what I cut out of this big 12-inch by 1/2-inch flat bar. But it was too big to fit in our bandsaw here. Well, I kind of rigged up, I stuck some 2x4s right here and kind of had it at an angle, and it wasn't super steady, super stable. I just had this clamp on the bottom holding it on. And I cut off this one. And it cut, and it works good, and it looks nice. Nice cut. But it took a long time, and it was kind of shaking near the end. So, new solution. We have our old plasma cutter here. I'm pretty sure it still works. Haven't used it in a while, but we have an old plasma cutter, and I'm just gonna clamp a plate on, probably that plate right there, that piece of metal. Clamp a plate on there, make a straight edge, and I'm just gonna cut them off, because I need 12 pieces, and it would take me a long time to do it with the bandsaw, and it's pretty shaky, and this thing weighs a lot. So I'm gonna get working on this. I gotta finish getting this set up and make sure it works. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be working on today. Well, I had to go to Blackfoot, and while I was gone, they cut all the plates. So all the plates are cut. Apparently the plasma doesn't work. So they cut all the plates, and now we're torching the holes in the plates for all the ready rod pieces. Once we get them all cut and whatnot, we'll put them on the truck and clamp the bed down. Just got to make it a little bit bigger. He's been working, and he's got pretty well all of them torched out and ground down. There's a couple more here that need to be ground down, but we have this long ready rod, and we welded the nut on one end, and we'll stick it up through the plate on the bottom, and then put the nut on the top. So I'll show you what I'm doing there. So I put this one on just now. So it's got big nuts and washers on top. I mean, Big shiny nuts, look at those. And then we've got this ready rod that goes down underneath with welded nuts on the bottom. That should do a pretty good job of holding it on. We're gonna put one here and one there and then 3 on the other side. And that should hold this on really well. Okay, we're done. We got these brackets on this side and we have 3 brackets on the other side. See the blinkers going. Josh has been working on the electrical back here, trying to hook from our turn signal lights to these ones back here on the back of the flatbed. So he's been working on the wiring, trying to get it running, but it should be a good bed. We'll be putting 2 big 1,500 gallon fertilizer tanks, or I guess tanks on here. We'll be putting fertilizer in them for potatoes so we can fill the planters up. But then also we're gonna use this. We're gonna be baling some hay this year. We usually silage all the hay, but we're gonna be baling it so we can double stack bales on here and then put 2 on the back. We're thinking we can get 10 bales on here. So it'll be good to have a truck that we can haul some hay with and stack. So yeah, just about done with this. Just need to finish up the last little bit of electrical. There we've got some of the lights working. Getting there. It's always hard when the wires down here, when we haul manure, they get caked up with manure and sometimes it rips them off and then you have to like retrace them all to figure out what they do. As you can see, this light isn't working. This one is, but that's because when we hauled, it ripped the wires off and we just haven't hooked that back up, but this one's working. So just need one, I guess. Well, now that we're done with that flatbed, a truck just pulled in with some potato seeds. So we're gonna go back him up and unload him. Back him up over to that piler over there. All right, he's backing up. Got some trucks ready to go. This is the 5th truck of the day. This video will be going up after our seed cutting video. So if you don't know what we're doing, go check that video out and it'll explain how our seed cutting works. Okay, we're going now. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Butter going in. It's kind of nice to have this remote control that controls everything on this thing. The boom controls the drive. It's kind of nice. Makes it pretty easy. All right, we just finished loading the first truck. So we are started on the second truck. And I'm hoping that we can fit all the rest of the semi in this truck. Would be nice. We'll see if that can actually happen. I'm really loading it as full as I can. This is one of our older beds. It doesn't have quite the capacity of like that new bed right there. When I say new bed, it's probably still 10 years old or more. Newer bed, I guess. Okay, looks like he's pretty much out. So we were able to get it all in there. With a little room to spare. Just got that truck loaded, or unloaded, I guess. We loaded our trucks. But he's heading back up to get another load that we will unload at 8 a.m. So that's nice because usually we have to wait till about 10. But he's gonna get another load, so we don't have to wait quite as long. So that'll be pretty nice. Okay, well, I just pulled this over here. We have a few things we need to do. I think actually maybe just one thing. So we have it all plumbed up, ready to go. But see these cables, all these lines just hanging down. We have a thing that I think bolts right here, sits up to hold all of these hydraulic cables and hoses so we don't mess them up or drag them on the ground. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on. It's right here. So it's just this little This little thing that bolts on, and then yeah, it just holds all of your hydraulic hoses, keeps them up out of the way. Okay, so we've got most of the bolts in. I just want to show you this. So I don't know if whoever watches these videos, this is a carriage bolt. So most bolts, you have the hex head on both sides, hex head on this side with the nut. This one is a carriage bolt, so it's square down at the base, and that makes it so you can stick it through the hole. If I can find the right spot, maybe, there it is. So you can stick it through, and it locks it because the hole in the back is square, so it locks this side, so you can tighten it without having to put a wrench on the back. Now you can just take this, spin it on. Just grab our good old impact here. Because I don't have to put a wrench on the back, I can hold the camera and cinch it up. There. It's on there. Now it'll carry the hoses and whatnot. We're thinking about putting right here, coming up and building the brace to come up to, so instead of the hoses having to go around like that, they could just go straight back, but we haven't decided if we want to do that yet. Another thing that we haven't figured out on this yet is sprockets for this John Blue pump. Now we have this one for the top, so that'll go on there, but none of us can find, this is a big 2-inch shaft. I think we had a sprocket for this at one point, but we're not quite sure where it is. But one problem we have is there's no keyway. See, there's a little keyway on this sprocket, but there's no keyway on the shaft. So there's holes. So we're thinking take the set screw out and try to drill through all the way through, and then just slide it on and put a bolt through it. That is our plan, if we can drill through this. So that's what I'm gonna go attempt to do. Okay, so I found this drill bit that I think will make it all the way through that if I chuck it up just right in the press. So let's go give it a shot. Don't want it to slip. Also would prefer not breaking the drill bit. Good old WD-40 works just as good, right? It was invented by NASA, so it's good enough for me. Not staying tight enough. I mean, this press is older than me, so. Okay, we made it through the first. Little bit. Now we just have to go through the other side. I either need to find a much longer drill bit or flip this over and drill from the other side because it's starting to hit the sprocket. So we're going to try and see if we can get it close. Well, I got it. We'll see if it works. Success! Look at that. It's on there, and the bolt went right through. It doesn't have to go on all the way, so anybody worried about it not being flush, that's fine. As long as this bolt goes through this shaft, that'll give us a lot of space, because I was worried about it being too close to this boat plug that we use to stop the fertilizer from coming out. Because it's got to go straight down to that. We got to find the sprocket. I don't know where it went. I know we got one, but we'll have to find it. Probably another day. But yeah, I think this is about done. It won't take very long to put that sprocket on and put a chain over it. So we're gonna call this good. Well, I think I'm gonna call that a day. It's been a good day, got a lot done. Yeah, go check out the merch store, and we'll see you in the next one. Before you know it, we're gonna be planting spuds, so that'll be fun.